Islamabad Moscow will continue to help Afghanistan through its own and through the UN Food Agency. Russian officials said that they hosted their Taliban representatives for negotiations with regional threats on Friday. The talks in the Russian city Kazan arrived while trying to preserve the influence of Moscow in Central Asia, even if it required a war on Ukraine. The Russian state news agency TASS said that discussions focused on regional threats and inclusive government. President Vladimir Putin's special representative to Afghanistan Zamir Kabulov attended the meeting and said Russia continued to help Afghanistan through independent and World Food Programme. A letter from Russian Foreign Minister Sergey Lavrov was read by saying that Western countries should carry primary burden of rebuilding the country by accusing Western countries of Afghanistan with complete failure in Afghanistan. Since US and NATO troops were last weeks of their withdrawal from country after 20 years of war. Taliban seized power in Afghanistan mid-August 2021. Following taking of the Taliban, based on Islamic law or Sharia interpretations from 1996 to 2001. As in previous rule of Afghanistan, he gradually brought harsh decisions. No country officially recognized the Taliban as the legitimate rulers of Afghanistan. While there are serious Taliban restrictions on United Nations, women and girls, recognition is almost impossible. Moscow. Taliban and Afghan fractions since 2017. China, Pakistan, Iran, India and Central Asia for the former Soviet countries in other representatives of representatives. Taliban representatives were not in the last meeting in November. The Kremlin ambassador Kabulov said that international recognition of the Taliban will be dependent on inclusive governments and human rights records. Russia. In 2003. Despite determination of Group a terrorist organization and never removed from list. He worked for years to contact Taliban. Any contact with such groups can be punished in accordance with Russian law. But Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Taliban. Changes in Afghanistan to stabilize Afghanistan. He answered questions about contradiction that said it was the Soviet Union filed a 10-year war Afghanistan in 1989, which resulted the withdrawal of troops. Foreign Minister Amir Khan Muttaqi, who was appointed by the Taliban of Afghanistan, said on Friday, saying that other countries should stop telling them what to do. Kazan. Afghanistan does not prescribe the forms of governance for others. So we expect regional countries to interact with the Islamic emirate instead of prescribing a government in Afghanistan. He came invited people to see Afghanistan themselves claimed that tourists, diplomats, aid workers, journalists, researchers were traveling safely, traveling freely.